Hey, this is a demo of the Foobara LLM-backed command gem. This is a pretty interesting gem and potentially very useful, so I'm excited to show you this one. This gem allows you to write a command without having to write an execute method. So to show you what I mean by that, let me first show you a very basic command that does have an execute method. So in this script here, we have a compute exponent command. It's going to take an integer base, an exponent, and return the base raised to that exponent. If the outcome is successful, we will print out the result. Otherwise, we will show the errors. So let's go ahead and run this script. We should get 8, 2 to the third. And we do get 8. So now let's do this using the LLM-backed-command gem. So I'm going to require LLM-backed-command, and I will use it instead of a vanilla command. And like I said, we can now get rid of the execute method entirely, so we don't need this or any of this. Okay, and let's try running it again, and we should still get 8, 2 to the third. So it works. It takes forever because this is not a good use of an LLM at all. So I'm going to go ahead and do something that is more appropriate, such as natural language processing. So I'm going to rename this file to analyze sentence. So let's rename the command, analyze sentence. And I'm going to make a better description here. So we'll accept a sentence, spell correct it, and analyze its verbs and nouns. That's good enough. And we want a sentence as an input, be a string, and add a description. And I'm going to create a model to get some structured data of an analyzed sentence, analyzed. Now let's create our model. And so basically whatever we want to know about, we can just put in here. So we want the original sentence. And let's see the spell corrected sentence. And we'll allow nil so that if it doesn't have to correct the sentence, it might put nil there. So that might be interesting. And let's get some verbs and nouns in here. Okay, so I'm going to need a couple more models. So let's define an analyzed verb. So what would be interesting to know about a verb? Well, we want the verb itself, the original verb. Let's call that verb. And we may as well get the language, too. Like, which language are we using? So let's do either English or Spanish for this demo. And I would like to make this a type so that I can also put it in the analyzed sentence easily. So I'm going to do that. And I'll just create a language type in the global domain. And I'm going to register the type. It's a string. Okay, so now I can use language wherever I want. So let's go ahead and put this in analyzed sentence as well, because why not? So what else might we want to know about a verb? How about what its subject is? And maybe it doesn't have a subject. And let's do the objects. Direct object. And indirect object. And this should be inflected, potentially inflected. And let's capture the uninflected form too. Okay, so how about nouns? Analyzed noun. So noun for the original noun. Let's get the language. Let's get the uninflected form as well. All right, so let's call this, instead of compute exponent, we want a sentence. Let's come up with one with a typo and some nouns and verbs. So a typo in the word wants, so we can see if it corrects it. Analyze sentence. All right, let's run this. And so some bugs. I'm gonna open this over here, and hopefully this doesn't take long to debug. This is in the Foobara namespace. Hey, we got an analyzed sentence, but we can't see the data. So let's print out some of the structured data. So let's print out the language and one of the verbs, and we'll just print out all of its attributes by converting it to a hash, and one of the nouns. And uh-oh, another bug. So 2 bugs. Hey, there's our structured data. So verb is show, subject is author, direct object commands, indirect object you. It got the objects correct. Commands is the noun, uninflected form is command, singular. Cool. So now let's try a sentence in Spanish. I'll override this with a Spanish sentence. See if it detects Spanish. And it does, there's Spanish. The subject is not yo. I was hoping this would be yo. Darn, it got the object right. Let's add some typos. And it corrected them. Sweet. Let's print out the uncorrected and corrected forms. Original sentence, and I forgot the name, and it's not auto-completing, so let's see if this is right. Oh, sentence. Oops, so another typo. Quite a few typos. Slowing down the demo. Oh, there we go. So we can see the original and corrected forms of the sentence. And notice how I'm able to make use of this data programmatically, which I think is really cool. And along those lines, I could actually expose this as a language analysis web service really easily. So let me show that real quick using Foobara. Because this is just a Foobara command, ultimately, I can expose it the same way I can expose any other Foobara command. Let's add a rack connector. I'm going to expose it over HTTP. Let's create an instance of our connector. Let's connect analyze sentence. And let's run Puma web server. All right, let's run this web server. Okay, let's try hitting this with curl. So we want to run analyze sentence. And let's pass our Spanish sentence because it's only 2 words. Quiero helado. Oh, there we go. It garbled my prompt and it's not pretty formatted, so let's pipe it to JQ. And there we can see the data much better. It's in the exact format that we specified. Let's go ahead and add some typos. Change this. There's 3. Let's do 4 typos. I don't know where the limit is. Oh, that worked. It corrected it. Eventually there'd be so many typos it couldn't correct it, right? But I don't know where that would be. But that's the end of the demo, and hopefully you can see how this might be pretty useful. You could upgrade this model to an entity and persist it to cache these results and have a pretty low-cost language analysis service basically for free, and call those commands from Ruby or TypeScript wherever you feel like. And thanks for watching to the end of the demo. Take care.